Okay. As far as I can tell, everything's set up. That seems to be right. Got my mic is over there, but it doesn't seem to be affecting us right now. I'll move it here in a second. And everything... That was weird. Felt like something was on my neck. Okay. Pull this mic around. Get it here. Gotta move cut, man. My cord is all out of whack right now. There we go. Okay. We're trying a new lighting setup this time. We'll see how that goes for us. I have no idea what to expect one way or another. But I got a second light to put over here. That's a little more permanent and it's bigger. Really, I think in the long run, this camera is old and it was never that great to begin with. So I think that regardless of what I do, the end result is going to definitely have to be that I will end up needing a new camera. That all being said, let's start like we do with each show as to where the update is. So for the channel update, posted a couple of shorts today, nothing big. I posted a short of the box that I'm currently using to keep my effects. And I just think it's really cool. It's a Witchblade metal lunchbox. And it's just a really, really cool piece of art in general. But currently what we're using it for is I'm keeping all my different effects in here. So fires, explosions, beams, things of that nature. Thought it was cool. Wanted to show off the box. So I did. I also posted 2 other shorts. I found... the video's probably about a year old now, but when I was cleaning out a box in the electronics side of my garage, I found the old Xbox 360 memory card, so I posted that. And then I also posted that I got a chance to actually look at the new Power Ranger toys. And very blatantly, to keep that in mind, they're toys. They're not claiming to be anything else other than toys. And I do think that's important. Because when it comes right down to it, that's what they are. They're not trying to be anything else. They're not trying to be anything special. They're not trying to surprise anybody or anything like that. They are toys. And since they're not lying about it, and they're not trying to be like crazy adult collector's items or something like that, I don't think that there's anything too negative I could say. I still have my concerns about farming out the Hasbro properties and where that can lead if you farm it out and get subpar product. But then again, this is business and we are in that general direction. And what is going to happen is going to happen. So there's no way around it. We're already on the road. But I compared them to the Rangers that I currently have on my shelf in that short. And as far as I could tell, they look about on par with those Rangers. I don't see anything egregious about them. So, fine. But they also do not catch my attention and make me go, oh man, I should run right out and get those. Like I have zero interest in them whatsoever. Like they don't catch my attention in anything else other than to say, if you don't have a set of Rangers, these aren't the worst things you could ever do. There are better options out there, and I'm definitely not upgrading mine, but I don't hate them for what it's worth. I am still waiting for a more collector-centric line to come out if I ever choose to do anything inside of Rangers ever again, and this is not that line, but they're not egregious for what they are. And if this reignition project thing takes hold and a new generation does watch a remastered Power Rangers and somehow it takes off, there are toys out there for them. I don't think that's an egregious thing. but I also don't think they're good necessarily either, so there's that. As for the rest of the update, I have not filmed the Photos Are Fun video. I was going to film it today, but then I decided I would do this live, and I don't think that's going to hurt us. Otherwise, the Necron video is done. It's going up. The Not in May video is done. It's going up. A Loose versus Inbox collection thought is going up. Skipping a talk about the Savage Crucibles Death Dealer is going up. And a Hasbro Pulse May 25 is going up, where we're going to be talking about that whole thing and what I thought about it in general. And that, as far as I can tell, is the entirety of the channel update. And I'm already starting to collect the folder for the next figure countdown when we move on to that. As it stands right now, of course, we're not moving anywhere with that because, like, we did it. We already did the half year point, and we knocked off some of the figures, and we know where we stand with all that stuff right now. So we'll see where that takes us in terms of the future. And that, as far as I can tell, is the update in general for the channel. I don't know where 100% of everything is going or where I plan to go, and I'm not 100% sure how my work schedule is going to affect the channel. Currently, we have not missed a posting. Like, we've had a post every single day for an entire year. My catalog of backlog videos are getting low, and it's going to become a lot more difficult to film very soon. Because, like, I move my daughter in next week, so that's going to take some of my time, and it may change the way that I have to film or edit content or do things of that nature, because there'll be a new responsibility and a new time responsibility. Also, I don't know 100% how it's going to work with me working 60 hours a week. Like, I don't know how that's going to fall in terms of when I get home, how I'll feel, what I'll be able to film, what I'll be able to edit, and things of that nature. But we'll take it as we go. We'll figure out what we're dealing with as we go. Otherwise, I think that is really all for the channel update. Now, I haven't done it yet, but I'm wondering if I should send out the links. Yesterday, I didn't send out the links, but yesterday was Saturday. With it being Sunday, I don't know how busy people are, and I don't know how this is going to go, but we're here. Currently, we have Motu Origins that's sitting up front right now. We have a Super 7 Ultimate item, only one, that needs to be opened. We, of course, still have G.I. Joe Classified that's sitting around, and we have Star Wars that's currently sitting around waiting to be opened. Oh, I don't think that I set up... Let me figure that out real quick, because I have a feeling that I didn't. I'll just put test, or test. Test works. Oh, okay, good. Yep, I set it up. I didn't know if I set that up right, but I did. I got the pop-up and everything, so I've got control of that. I'm fighting with myself. Also, I guess it kind of plays into the channel update. It keeps badgering me about setting up memberships. I don't know how I'm going to go about that, or if I'm going to go about that. I keep telling myself I should, if no other reason than just to have the option on the channel, and I don't think I'm going to do anything over like $1, realistically, because there's only so much that I can do when it comes to something like that anyways. I don't necessarily want to make these private for members. I don't necessarily feel like that's the route that I want to go. And I don't necessarily want to commit to trying to do both these, the main videos, and trying to say, hey, we'll also have a members-only stream or something like that. I don't know about that. I could probably offer like the shout out thing or something like that at the end. I don't know. I'm being very honest. Right now, that's what's kept me from doing anything like that, because I don't want to commit to something that then I cannot actually deliver on. Because that happened a lot with Fandom Night. A lot. Like, oftentimes we would get into something on Fandom Night, and I would say, oh, we should this, or we're gonna this, or this is our next plan of action. And it would not happen because I wouldn't have the manpower backing me up to actually make it happen, or something would get in our way, and then we ended up not doing it. I don't want to make the mistake of promising something here on this channel when it's only me. I'm a little better about being able to follow through with it because it is only me, but I don't want to put myself in that situation where I promise something that I can't keep up with, and then the memberships just become like a scam. I'm not into that idea. So I don't know. That's what keeps me from activating the memberships. Though I've been asked about it a couple of times if I'm going to do it. I've had a couple of people ask me about it, and I've been like, look, I haven't done it yet. I don't know what to do with them yet. Hey, what's going on, man? And hey, what's going on, man? Yes, I'm here again. This is just, look, I have the free time, so I figured I'd come in here and knock something out, get a couple figures open, get some talks running and things like that, because maybe I'll have the ability to do this on Tuesday, but I don't know. And I figured, hey, it's Sunday. I have a couple of hours. May as well come in here and knock a couple items out. Right now, for what it's worth, I think we have 5 people hanging out. And we have only 1 vote so far is currently on the poll, and that is for the G.I. Joe Classified. So far, Classified is winning, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. There's still a lot of Classified figures over here that I haven't had a chance to talk about or open or check out. And I am curious about that too. How much that's going to slow down. Because, like, I'm starting to get to the point where, in terms of G.I. Joe, I only know what I know. So, like, aside from, like, watching and reading and trying to learn a bunch of new G.I. Joe stuff, I'm kind of at this weird point now where I'm almost capped out. Every now and then they're releasing something that catches my attention, but for the most part, I only know what I know from, like, back when I was a kid. So I don't know how much more Classified content there'll be on top of what's already sitting down there, in all honesty. Motu and Joe's are currently tied on 2 votes. I think we have 6 people hanging out currently. 5. We have 5. Says I have 5 people in the room. Oh, what's this? Hold on. Oh, we'll look at that later. I can't answer comments on other videos whilst doing this video. It's not doing us any favors for what we're doing. And I could call this a tie and open 1 from each. That's not a horrible idea either, just to get us started. It would start us in Motu Origins, which we have a couple of items in Origins that need opened in general. So we'll go ahead and start that. Let me end this poll and figure out what we can do for that. Okay, I have there. That's down there and waiting. I know I have him. Let me move these real quick to see what's actually sitting down here. Okay. And then there. Bam. There. That'll get us started. So we'll start in Motu and we'll move to G.I. Joe because those are the two that won. And we'll see how this goes. Which Origins is actually getting to the point. There's only 5 Origins that we even have. So we're already starting to get to the point where Origins will kind of be off the list pretty soon, because I pretty much have moved into focusing 100% on Masterverse, which, wow, I didn't think that it would be that big of a deal. Masterverse released the one of the movie figures, the Beastmaster or whatever, Beast Tamer or whatever he is, and I said to myself, that's not going to be a problem. I'll wait. Shouldn't have done that, I guess. He's probably going to be an aftermarket problem. So if I ever end up really liking that guy and I end up trying to find him, he could offer me real problems because he's sold out fast. And I have no idea if he will be coming back around anytime soon. He's sold out fast, ridiculously so. So far, Stranger Things is winning. Stranger Things He-Man. Which does look pretty cool, to be fair. I have not actually watched Stranger Things. I watched about 4 episodes with my wife, and it didn't seem like a bad show, so I'm interested to see the rest. I know she wants to go through all of it when the new season is about to come out, so that's probably where I'll start catching myself up. But I went to the Overstock, and the Overstock had one of these, and so I got it on pretty good discount, and hey, no problem with me. I'm going to open it anyway. So we're going to give this 5 minutes before we call it. But yeah. Let me fix this. There. Now I've got all the stuff on my sidebar set up, and I can see the stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty cool looking figure. I don't know what to expect out of the extra guy, but then again, that was the same way with the last pack that I opened. That was like Netflix Stranger Things as well. I opened that up, and it was basically one of those situations where I went, I don't know what that is, but it's cool, and that's pretty much where I think I'm going to end up on this one as well, in all honesty. I have started, I did all the pictures and everything for the next set of videos, so I can get the Wolverine and things like that up and start talking about them. And this month hit me in a way that's because they moved everything out of May and they kind of put it in this month, and now I don't know what's dropping, and I don't know how much money I actually have or don't have, and that kind of sucks, because I was kind of hoping to go further in the Ultimates, the Super 7 Ultimates Conan universe toys, because there are some of those that I really think would be cool to have on the shelf, but yeah, I don't know what the actual possibility of that is now. Because, are they going to disappear in a month? I should probably be fine, in all honesty. But yeah, I don't know. I will say that once I get to open the Super 7 item, I will be set up for a new photo shoot, though, because I have one in mind, and I know that I can do it, and I know that I can set it up, but I've got to get once the item is opened, that's when I'll start looking into it. We got 1 minute left on the Motu Origins vote. So far, we have 5 people hanging out. Chances are that won, and nobody really knows Motu. That happens. That happens a lot with these random votes. But for what it's worth, what is that? Oh. Spotify email. Doesn't matter to us. Doesn't change a thing we're doing with our lives here. Okay, that's 5. So Stranger Things He-Man just won. And so we will go to that. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's start. Stranger Things. The box is upside down. He-Man pack. Let's do it. First off, as always, artwork, unbelievable. Like, this is so cool. And the little quotes here, like, talks about He-Man discovers how to return Eternia from the upside down. Like, so I have to see this show. Like, I know there's a lot of talk about it. This box is even really neat because it has He-Man like this, but then also because the box is designed to be both upside down and right side up. So, like, the Stranger Things is here, and then the Motu part of it is upside down, and then the Motu part of it is right side up, and the Stranger Things is upside down. That's a cool effect. That really adds a lot to this box and just makes it really cool overall. It makes it very unique. Not that it's going to matter in the long run, because I'm just going to open this and throw it away. But it is a cool box design, and it deserves the credit that it deserves in general. This is Vecna and He-Man, or for what? This is Vecna and He-Man, and this only ran me $20 because I got it from the Overstock. Look, guys, if you could find a store that operates like this, that buys in Overstock, you never know what you're going to find. Like, there's so many cool things that wind up at Overstock stores, and then they just drop in value like crazy. And this could be anything from retail that couldn't be sold to if a box got hit by a fork truck, or if something dropped and they just said, well, we're not even going to take the chance, and they void out the product, and then it goes to Overstock and things like that. Like there's all kinds of things that end up pushing it into that kind of state. And that's why you see these things end up at these Overstock stores. And I just happen to have an Overstock store, which is actually called the Overstock Toy Store. And that's where I've been finding a lot of these really cool, like, crazy deals. But let's open it. Okay, so here's what we're dealing with. He-Man is He-Man. He's very blatantly nothing more than a repaint of the version 2 release He-Man. That's what he is. So the second He-Man that came out in the line, that's all he is. He's got a decent wash here that brings his muscles out, which also makes him seem a little darker than the regular He-Man, and his paint scheme in general also has a wash that kind of darkens his hair. It is kind of cool. A darker He-Man is a little cool, but it is just very blatantly an egregious repaint. The coolest thing we get out of this, however, is that, okay, I'm going to be honest, I don't understand how I have already lost that. I think I actually put it back in the box. I did. Wow. That's the thing. He comes with his power sword, of course. It is a darker color, which is kind of cool. He comes with the power axe. Well, that's what I'm going to call it, is a power axe, but it's really just an axe in terms of this idea. And he comes with what I felt he comes with this. This is his shield. Guys, I made a complaint about this when they released the Ninja Turtles, the Ninja Turtle crossover He-Man wave. When they did that, Turtles of Grayskull, they said they were going to give us a Beast Man. And this was the shield in the concept, in all the promotional images that it showed he was going to come with. Then I found him in person, and he did not come with this shield, so I did not buy him. I felt like that was... I understand the age we live in, but because most things are bought online now, and because we are relying heavily on pre-orders to buy those things, you cannot release images of your figure claiming that this will be what we're getting and then not give us this. And yes, this is not the only thing I've ever called out like that. I was mad when Tila came in yellow paint instead of gold paint, and I was also irritated when the Red Sonja images came out and they weren't even close to what we were promised. So I don't think that's okay. Look, I gotta give it up to somebody like Brutal Realms. Brutal Realms is doing it right. They put out some concept stuff. Those are the pictures. And they blatantly show you this is a concept, we're not ready yet. Then, as they update the figures, as they get the bodies, as they get the paint, as they get the mold, they update the images. Excuse me, and they're very real about what it is you are getting. I can live with that. Don't lie to me. The same pictures are still up, even now, for Mattel's Motu Beastman that does not come with this shield. It comes with him. And as far as I know, to the current moment, that is the only time you can get this shield. And this is an awesome shield, by the way. I know I just did a whole lot of griping, but it is really good. Now the question is, axe and shield? Is that what we're doing here? I really like that shield, though. That is cool. He will go on my shelf, and because he actually has this shield, he will be a standout on the shelf. And I think I might keep him with the axe. There's something that's just tough about the old He-Man with an axe. I like it a lot. So, now comes the star of the show. The whole reason that people really bought this, because He-Man is a repaint. That's a repaint. Nobody really cares that much. This is kind of cool. I don't know what this is. It's a clock. It's on fire. It's a staff of some sort. It's cool. I think they call it like a time staff, like in the little description on the back or whatever. This is pretty cool. Like I say, I don't know anything about it, but it's an awesome weapon for what it is. And then we have this guy. This guy is craziness. Like, I don't know. I have not seen this show. But this dude with his crazy face and like this weird like butterfly scar that he's got going on and like this weird angry crab thing, and then he's got all these like vines and grossness that like grows on him, and he's got the big giant angry demon feet things, and like then his hands are all big and misshapen. No, just this hand. This hand is like regular, and then he comes with like these with these that they just plug into his back. They're very simple, but like, oh, I'm curious. Should that be the other way? Does it look cooler when the two vines go up the top and are all crazy and everything? I mean, I guess you could just choose, to be fair, but this is really cool. I like this a lot. This guy stands out on the shelf, and this is kind of what I was talking about in the Triclops video. I talked about how Triclops just didn't do anything for me, like, because I don't know what that is. Like, Triclops to me, like, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything, but Origins is still pumping out figures that I would not necessarily pass on. I thought this was cool. And there are still other Origin figures that are coming out that I think will look really good when that new when the new Epic Boss Fight Studios is doing that what is it, Epic Eternal Champions or something like that. Basically, they're releasing in this scale, in this design, a Conan the Barbarian, a Red Sonja, and a skeleton. Like, they're going to go real cool with something like this. Especially since right now the only thing they'll really have for me to fight photography-wise is like a skeleton. Well, now I have cooler items to work with. That's really cool. So, for what it's worth, a solid Motu open. So, yeah. Okay. So far we have What's Up Fandom? And then we have this dude who's Daleks. Neat. I'm from Doctor Who. Good, I guess. Cool. Yeah. We are now, the other thing that won was Joe's. So let me set that part up real quick. Because the two items that won was Joe's and Motu. So, first off, I know this is down there. So we'll add her to the list. And then I gotta look real quick because I gotta see what's actually sitting here. What are you? Oh, cool. There. We'll add him to the list, and then we'll do... And then I think we have... What is that? Oh, okay. They have to be opened together if I open them. There we go. That should get us off to the races. That is the next group that won. And then of course we'll put another line vote up and we'll see how that works. I have to put this over here just in case he doesn't get picked. I mean, okay. Oh, wow. That I didn't expect. That was fast. Oh, it was only one. But that might be one of the first times she's actually gotten a vote the whole time we've been doing this. She's been sitting on the shelf. Well, not the shelf. She hasn't entered the shelf yet because she's never won a vote. But she's been sitting to the side for a long time, in all honesty. And she's something that I actually I've been interested in for a while now, in terms of, because, like, I feel like she's been harshly judged by a big portion of the community that didn't get what they wanted. But if she wins, we'll end up talking about that, to be fair, because I do think that's an honest thing. currently we have 5 people hanging out. No, actually, no. See, that's why I say it just jumped up to 7. It's jumped up to 9. Now it's back down to 7. We don't know. We're going to say there's about 7 people hanging out. Because, as we've talked about before, in terms of the way that YouTube seems to run its stuff, it's very hard for me to get an actual accurate estimate of how many people are currently hanging out in the room and what's really going on. But we'll probably leave this up for about 5 minutes. Currently, the vote is on G.I. Joe Classified. We got CoverGirl, Snow Serpent, Retro Cobra Commander, and Beachhead and Jinx. There's a story that goes with them in general, so they get opened together if they get opened. And that's currently where we are in the situation as it runs right now. And we'll see where we end up. Yeah. Man, them crickets are already coming out. I hear them. They're out there chirping and everything. It's wild to me. And the room is not terrible, but it's pretty nice outside. I don't know how long that's going to hold up, in all honesty. I definitely need to find out what's going on if I get a fan in here. Like, if I get a fan in here, I'm thinking about this back corner over here, and I'm hoping that the fan will get enough air circulating in the room, but not hit the mic in a way where you're constantly hearing that noise. I don't know. I'm not sure how that's going to go over. I'm really not. I think we've actually done the Fandom Night episodes with a fan in the room. So I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem. But the way that I have my sound set up for this mic in general could be an issue. I may have to mess with the settings if I decide to do that. We got 2 votes so far. CoverGirl is winning. We got 2 minutes left. Looks like she's going to win. I'll kind of move her over to the side just in case. And then we'll be able to talk about her in general. I have a photo shoot that I'm going to do for some, specifically for Thrones. Because I have a couple of different throne shots that I want to do. I want to get a really good shot of the Bone Throne, of course with Skeletor in it, and then I want to get a good shot of the King Conan throne, and then I'd really like to get a good shot of the of that chair that we opened, and from DC Multiverse, and then I would also really like to get a good shot of the Zed throne, both with Zed in it and then repurposed to pay tribute to a piece of artwork that I really, really like. And I've already got the Panthers and whatnot set up for it. And I think that obtaining, I think for the chair that came with Lex Luthor, I think I'm gonna get a cut of fabric from like Walmart, and I'm gonna like place it over the chair in a very specific way to kind of add, so I can cover up that seam, but also add a little bit more, add some more dynamics to it. So it's going to be pretty cool, I think. I know I'm literally coming up on having my own Hall of Thrones. It's crazy. I never expected I would end up with so many chairs just out of nowhere for some reason. We are at 5 minutes, and CoverGirl has won. So we will see. We'll check her out. I've actually been wanting to open CoverGirl for quite a while. So, let me fix this real quick. Let me wait. Jet. It's not even as loud as some of the other jets that go over. That was very tame, actually. Some of them that go over actually stop me from having, like, I'll have to stop filming and, like, go back. But, let's see. I completely messed that up. Did you see that? I basically just slapped myself in the face because my hand slipped when I went to do that. But here we go. Oh, she's awkward. Cover Girl. You probably want to see that part of the box. Not that it really matters. It's a closed box. We'll talk about it. So, first off, Cover Girl. I actually think this is a really cool concept. Second, I personally really like this redesign. Third, I don't like these boxes. Like, at all. I have no guarantee that she's even in here. I mean, I hope she is. But she might not be. That'd make for a very interesting show. Also, I have to say that I am not attached to this figure at all. Before we even open her, understand something. If you like G.I. Joes a lot, that's very cool for you. I don't take anything away from it. I'm completely on board. I get it. But in terms of G.I. Joe, when I was growing up, they were just toys. I've probably read 5 comic books ever. Ever. I have watched 1 episode ever. And 1 movie. It was like a CGI animated movie thing. It came with like this set called Ninja Battle, where I just bought a bunch of ninjas. The biggest thing that I can remember about it is that Snake Eyes, like, saves Scarlet at some point in the movie. And it was like a big joke where she was like, maybe you could, like, do this ninja thing where you flip in and do this and blah, blah, blah. And then he just, like, hits a switch and she turns it off, like these, like, laser bars or whatever. And then I remember she goes, or you could just that. And that, like, that's the only thing I remember about that movie. So my knowledge for Joes is not vast. When I was playing G.I. Joes, I go over to my neighbor's. He had a bunch of Joes. We would play with the Joes. When I would go to the store, I would see G.I. Joes, something like this on the shelf. And I would say, oh, that's cool. And then I would take it off the shelf and I would make up my own story because just the design of the character I felt spoke words. Like, the feeling of what I was seeing in the figure told me everything I needed to know about that person's history. And then I would, like, go home, make up my own story, and play Joes. We used to call it playing guys. I don't know why that was the term we used, but that's actually what we used to call it, was playing guys. So, if the redesign, and I've heard she was redesigned, and boy, when I saw the retro card that they were releasing, I could no longer deny it. If that is what retro Cover Girl is supposed to look like, then boy, was she redesigned. But because I don't have that attachment, it doesn't bother me. In fact, I think by the pictures I've seen, I like this design way more than I like what I've currently seen in the retro card back. I did buy that because I do like it. She kind of reminds me of Sniper Wolf, which I thought was really cool. But I actually don't think it's as good as this. Let's open it. Okay. So, first off, like very first impressions, just looking at her, this is awesome. Like, no joke, this is really, really good. I'm interested immediately in this figure. That design, to me, I'm going to be honest, just like I bought Jodie Shooter Craig, when I bought her because she reminded me of something. She reminded me of Sheva Alamo from Resident Evil 5. I was like, hey, that's really cool. And since those aren't figures that really exist in a way that I care to spend the money or care to own them, that's the closest I'm going to come to owning one. And now, I'm going to be honest with you, looking at her, if you did it right, you could customize her, almost guaranteedly, you could work her to be Jill Valentine. Like, I'm not kidding. I think that you could do it. I think that if you put in the right work, if you customized her correctly, she would make a fantastic Valentine. Like, this is actually crazy. And it really makes me wonder, how come we haven't had Capcom toys on this level ever? Because, like, this design right here, in this scale, if you made all the main guys like this for a Resident Evil line, you could do, you could do multiple games too. You could release the figures from Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, alternate costumes, so on and so forth. So you got a whole line of figures that you could just keep pumping out. And then on top of it, these aren't so big that you can't get away with easy production for things like zombies. Tyrant doesn't have to be that big. A cool Nemesis figure could easily be done in just a slightly larger scale than this and still look believable. Like, everything that I see with these figures is ripe for that possibility. Or, look at it, okay? Look at her. With proper modification, keep the jacket, put the short shorts, gun holsters, change the hair present, pull this back into a ponytail, longer hair, put those glasses on. You basically have a Tomb Raider right here. Like, it blows my mind that this figure design has not went the distance yet, and we haven't seen a license for Capcom to do these kinds of figures in oh my. Okay, so her leg is not it's not breaking, and it's not gummy, and the drop down hips, wow, I was not expecting drop down hips like that, but they're real. She has very good drop down hips. I'll have to pinch her and see if I can't get this leg to move and crack out. It's not... Oh, there we go. I got this one. It's not gummy legs. She's not giving me any QC problems yet, but this leg I can't seem to turn at the thigh swivel yet. It's really playing against me, and I'm not going to force it and, like, break the leg. But, guys, this kind of situation right here is a mild problem to things like Maximum Spider-Man. This figure has drop-down hips. It has a ridiculous amount of movement and swivel. Like, you could almost already get Spider-Man-esque poses, or, like I said, Tomb Raider-esque poses off just this right here. Actually, that's almost perfect if I had the two guns or something like that. That's pretty cool. That's a jump movement right there going towards a ledge or something. Like, you could easily get Tomb Raider-esque designs and things like that. Like the Maximum Spider-Man, that's one of the things I worry about is, will lines like this make me feel like they didn't do enough for him? I don't know. I'm hoping I fall in love with that figure, in all honesty. But I gotta give her the props, man. She's got these hanging belts and everything like that. She is done really well. I like this jacket. I like that it's malleable and it moves and everything like that. I like her face a lot. People were mad that she wasn't blonde. I actually really like this. And I think there's something about this kind of like very pretty. I could believe that she was a quote-unquote cover girl, that she was in magazines. I can look right at her and tell you, I could believe that person was a model. I could see the face dimensions that would have helped her land makeup ads and things like that. That's really cool. But then, when push came to shove and things went down, she enlisted and made some of herself and like pushed forward because that was at the time something that needed to happen. She has this, it's some sort of, I don't know if this is like a phone or just an iPad kind of thing or something like that. But going back to I'm an old man and small stuff impresses me, guess what? She can carry this with her because every single item that she comes with has a spot on her person so that she always has her stuff. Here's a wrench because from what I understand, she's a mechanic, which is another pretty cool little thing about her. She's a mechanic, she's smart, she's pretty, she's of course in shape because of the lifestyle that she lived before this, because keeping her body in shape and her figure going right was literally how she made her money. But then, she don't mess around with no small firearms either. Look at that. That's her handgun, okay? Like, man, she was tough too. Like, that ain't no joke. That ain't no little Beretta gun or something like that. And then she's a close combat expert shotgun. Like, and you know that when Bill does have the ability to play shooters, first-person shooters and things of that nature, the risk-it shotgun fighting style, that's a fighting style that I actually use quite a bit. I have two preferred methods of combat when I play in most shooting games or third-person shooting games or team shooters or whatever, and that is I'm either the sniper or I'm the close-up absolute, the shotgun or the bruiser or whatever. Like, those are the two main things that I end up liking to do on those kinds of games. I'm having trouble. There we go. She didn't come with extra hands or anything like that, so she's got her shotgun, and everything carries on her because that is the way this line is designed. She has that neck. There's a thing here, and of course her head, so she already has the Spider-Man neck that they were talking about from the Maximum series, where they're like, hey, we gave him that neck. It is crazy to me. I can already tell by moving her around that she moves really well, but she won't move as well as he does. But, like, it is pretty crazy to me how much all the innovation and up-to-date techniques that they were putting out in the G.I. Joe Classified line probably influenced the other areas in Hasbro, because, like, I see so many things going on here that are now sneaking into the Legends line. And yet, I've said this before, you gotta give G.I. Joe its props. Somehow, with all of this, it manages to stay in its price range and offer way more than you would ever expect to get from said price range. This is a fantastic figure. Like, to the point where I will be surprised if I open the retro one and I don't immediately say this one is better. I've seen that one, and I know that people are very excited about getting the one they grew up with. For me, this knocks it out of the park. This is a really cool figure. But I don't have the nostalgia behind it. You know that before you go any further, before you talk about it, before you get mad, before you go to the comments. I told you my history with Joes. To me, these are really cool soldier figures. And she sells it for me. I believe the storyline, the small story that I know about her. I believe it. I can look right at her. I can see it. I have no problem believing that. She's good. She might be one of my favorite Joes on the shelf right now. She's good. Like, real good. Before I go back to the chat, let me get this stuff out of here. By the way, one thing I do like about these closed boxes, even though I don't like these boxes, is that when the G.I. Joes, when they come with weapons and whatnot, they come in ammo crates. I actually think that is really, really cool. In fact, I'm keeping this one. I'm gonna put weapons in it. I'll set it up on the G.I. Joe shelf, and I'll put weapons and whatnot as I obtain them in there, because you always have extra guns and stuff like that lying around. Those ammo crates, I'll keep a couple of them. They'll come in handy. So let's see. Oh, you're never late. You're never late. Don't worry about it. The only thing you missed so far is we talked about the Stranger Things He-Man pack. Ghost Rider, this is replied, requesting a flyby. I never read any G.I. Joe comics. When my mother started getting me toys, I had no idea who these guys were. I only watched their cartoon when I stopped buying toys, and Joe's was definitely my favorite line. Your favorite line, I know. Yeah, dude. The G.I. Joe Classified line is just ridiculously good. It's so ridiculously good. Let me set up the next thing here. Okay, so far we have I know that's sitting there. That is over there. That is over there. And oh. Bam. There. That'll get us underway. Go over there. Let me go check, see what our metrics are looking at right now. Seems like we got about 7 people hanging out right now. Gives me an idea of how to kind of look over the vote as it happens. So currently we are only 1 vote in, and Super 7 Ultimates is winning. Of which, if it does win, there's only 1 item, and that'll be the end of it. Like, it'll be knocked off our list. We won't be opening another one for a while. Let's see. I got that Mega Buster Lab. Ow. I got that Mega Buster Lab playset from Jack Specific. Took off the bad stickers, and it's perfect for the Jada Mega Man figures. And there's so much potential for 3D printing add-ons for it. Hold on. Oh, okay. I think I found it. I didn't even know that this was a thing at all. Mega Buster Lab. What the what? I had no idea that this was a thing at all. That's actually pretty cool. You could easily repurpose that. Like, how big is that and everything? That is crazy to me. Hold on a minute. Well, you can't seem to get it. I'd have to go to Amazon to pick one up, it looks like. But it sure is neat looking. Yeah, it looks like it, that's pretty cool. Like, I had no idea that was even a thing, dude. It is a Buster cannon. It opens up. It's not too big, but it looks like because of the size of the Jada figures, you might be right. Because I don't think these figures are probably too big, are they? Mega Man fully charged. See, now I haven't seen any of those toys yet. Like, are those toys about the same size? That's crazy. The figures scale pretty good on it. I have a picture of it on my Instagram. Dude, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's not very expensive, and it looks like a pretty good set. Like, it's got this little elevator thing, and it's got like a little lab thing right there. It's got a slide, which I don't see anybody ever using. But then it's got like it's just enough that if you played it off right, if you messed around with it, I think you're right. That could easily be upgraded and turned into something. That's cool. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's cool. Like, legit cool. Did you see the accessory set of TMNT with the baby turtles from NECA? No, I don't think I did. I know in terms of baby turtles, I've seen a lot of the baby turtles though. Like, are they the same things, like the repurposed baby turtles that we've seen in other sets? Okay. I think, because this is weird, it's saying we have one vote, but Star Wars and Legends originally were voted on, and either they got withdrawn or the people that came in tried their vote and immediately gave up and left, and they're gone now, so we're on Super 7. And there's only one item to open from Super 7, so, hey, it's whatever. If they have no patience, that's fine. 'Cause this. Yeah, this got 3 thises, okay? So you voted Legends. Then I wonder what happened. Like, I wonder what happened with the little vote thing. That's fine. We'll be here long enough to get more votes. Okay, guys. This is going to be awesome. You know what? I need something. If I'm going to open this, I need this, okay? So I went and I got it. And I don't remember a time that I've ever had a chance to really talk about this because, oh man, yes, this is awesome. I can't believe this. I can't believe this worked out this way. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Are you ready? The Z Throne. Yes, Super 7 Ultimate Z Throne. Let me tell you, I've been fighting with myself for a while. When we did the chair episode, in case you're interested, you can go back and watch that. I specifically talked about the fact that there is a picture from an artist. It is not Frank Frazetta. I meant to say it's Frazetta-esque. It is not a Frazetta image, but it's Frazetta-esque, and it's very, very cool. And I did not realize, because I want to say this picture was done in like 86 or something like that. So it's before Power Rangers. It predates Power Rangers. And it's this chair. It's this chair, except for on the parts on the edges here, there are skulls. And there is a girl sitting in the chair surrounded by two panthers, and there's like some cloth and whatnot that goes down. And it's a really, really, really cool image. And I said to myself, I have Lord Zed. I like Lord Zed. I wouldn't mind having the throne. This would be pretty cool. Maybe I should go ahead and buy the throne, right? So, I go ahead and I buy the throne. Or rather, I get ready to. I put my stuff down. I go online. I find it. I get the money put to the side. And I say, okay, that's it. $40. I don't necessarily love that price, but worth it for what it is. I'll get it. It'll be a one-time drop. I'll never need another one for what it's worth. We'll be set, and it'll serve multiple purposes. It'll be fine. Well, after I did that, I go to this game store. It's kind of like a third-party game store where they trade a bunch of stuff in, and it becomes like just a shop with a bunch of cool stuff. They sell action figures, music, movies, video games, all kinds of stuff. And while I'm in there, I'm walking around, and somebody just traded in like a ridiculous amount of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like, I'm talking stupid. It's like aisles worth of stuff. Like, he must have come in and just traded everything that he's ever collected. Who knows? Hard times. And he just got rid of everything. So here it is, sitting on the shelf, costing only $20. And I was like, it doesn't appear to have ever been opened. It is the chair. It only comes with the chair. Like, perfect. And so I bought it. I was like, I can't pass that by. Guys, look. Zed, and it does not, the chair does not come with Zed, but I don't need it to come with Zed. Lord Zed, at least in his introduction, and even in some points after his introduction, even after they try to tone him down, is still to this day, I think, the best thing we did for Rangers. He was a truly scary thing. Like, we just got done dealing with Rita. And most of Power Rangers is fun, okay? Even regardless of how evil bad guys are, oftentimes they're fun. They're like goofy. And regardless of how evil they ever get, they never lose that slightly goofy, cheesy edge. Then came Zed. And Zed, in the first run, for like the first month of Zed, they laid down a character that is still holding that legacy today. Because when you think about Zed, oftentimes you don't think about how he got nerfed and how literally like he's lying on the floor and throwing fits and doing dumb crap and marrying Rita. Most of the time when we picture Zed in our minds, we think about that first month. That first month of episodes. Like, he was scary. Everyone was afraid of him. He sat in this like room. He would glow red. When he first appeared, he looked like he was dead. The throne turned around, and then like all that stuff started pouring through like the cords on the outside of him, and then he like came to life and his visor came on and he grabbed the snake and like pulled it and it turned into the Z-Staff and ting, and he put it on the ground and he stood up and like he just had this really cool voice, and it seemed like everything he was doing was competent. Like, he would throw these minor fits and everything, but he was like cool. I remember small little details about him, like where he'd get mad and he'd slam his hand down on the railing. And if you were watching the scene when he pulled his hand away, there'd be like a wet spot left where he'd slammed his hand down, like almost like he was bleeding or something. Like, he was truly terrifying. He, to this day, sits in my top 5 sorcerer things of all time. He really does. Maybe that's a video. But I'm telling you, like, for the same concept that today Skeletor is looked at as this really cool villain, even though if you grew up in the 80s and you watched him, he was a dork. But, like, you don't see him that way. You see the potential of what they designed. And you see, well, those small episodes where he had a chance to, like, be what he was supposed to be. Well, that's Zed. That's Zed. This guy right here is the coolest thing we ever did. Ever. He's just sick, man. He's so good. I can't stress enough how different it was. How different the show felt when he showed up. He had an impact that hits even today. And now we have his chair. And I've got to see it. Let's open it. Okay. Here it is. There's the side of it. Pretty cool. I like this right in here and everything. I like the cracks and everything from what it is. When we turn it this way, we have that same kind of design that was in here. We have the 2 bird-like things, the little gargoyle-esque bird things that hang over the side that go into the bird feet. The other side, basically the same as the side that was over here. And the back has that cool Z and everything. That's really cool. And then, for what it's worth, I could see mild seams here, but nothing that's terrible. Like, if I look in here, I could see the seams that separate the plastic. I could see the seams here, for the most part, but nothing that, like, breaks the illusion. The bottom, I almost wondered if there was supposed to be batteries or something when I saw that. I was like, what is that? But no, nothing like that. It's just a solid chair. That's what it is. Did I want it to be anything else? No. It's very well designed. It's very cool. It's a chair. I have to know. So here we go. Let me get this staff, get it in his hands. Let me get him in the chair. Get his hand here. There. Took me a minute to kind of get him posed. But that is what the Lightning Collection Zed looks like just sitting in the chair. Like, I think the Super 7 figures are a bit bigger. But I don't like how they look. The Super 7 figures for Rangers tend to have this look that feels a little cartoon to me. Not that they're bad figures. If that's something you collect, there are decent points to them. Like, you get a lot more cool things. The Green Ranger comes with all of his stuff, comes with multiple heads. He comes with the candle and different things like that. There is a cool reason to have those figures. There's a lot of cool detail that's brought into them. But the way that they do the paint and everything is very smooth and they look cartoony to me. And that kind of drove me away from that line and made me not buy any of them. But that didn't mean that I didn't like some of the extra stuff. But I believe their Lord Zed is the littlest bit taller than their Lord Zed. I think they run on a 7-inch scale. This runs on a 6-inch scale. But that being said, this chair, obviously, as you can see, will work for this Zed. I see no problems here. If I want him to sit on the shelf in front of the Rangers, just looking Zed, there he is. He does everything that I want him to do. And now, because of size and everything like that, I need to know, for that picture that I'm planning on, we're going to use my broken Tigra again. Okay, so the way that picture works is it has her in the chair, okay, and the chair is kind of pointed this way. So once I've got her in and everything and she's put there, and there's also these two panthers on the sides of the chairs. If I did the picture right, you wouldn't even know her leg was busted. So I can get away with it, and I got to change her hands and everything like that to get her in the chair properly, but I can do it. I can make this work for that picture that I've been talking about. So this serves multiple purposes right off the bat. It's going to be a very cool display piece for the Ranger section. It's going to give Zed a place to sit, and the Master of Evil, the Lord of all he sees, he needs a place to sit. I can do that really cool picture with the Tigra thing that I wanted to do. Like, it serves multiple purposes for me. And in the end, that is what your collection does. On a personal note, the way I collect, we've talked about this many times. I've got a video that specifically talks about it. Every single item in this room, every one of them has a story. Whether it be personal, small, or deep. And if it doesn't, if it's just a thing I bought, it won't stay here very long. Sometimes some things have big stories. Sometimes they have small stories. Sometimes they even have FOMO stories. But it's enough that until something else takes its place, it's fine to be here. And some things literally have no reasoning. They have no deeper meaning other than, I spent some money today. Those items, they don't stay in my collection very long, if they ever enter my collection at all. This is cool. Like, I think that big, evil, cool icon people, kings, lords, evil sorcerers, they gots to have cool chairs. The throne is an absolute idea to characters. Game of Thrones, the throne, the Zed throne, like the Bone throne. King Conan has a very specific throne. The Aquilonian throne looks a specific way. Like, designing a throne can be just as important, if not even more so, than the actual person that's going to place their cheeks here. Okay? Like, these are important. Thrones tell a story, man. And this is one of the coolest ones ever designed. Ever. It fits him like a glove. It adds menace. It makes him dangerous. He's already scary. But there's something about that that you might not want to... You might want to watch what you say when you walk in the room and he's sitting there like... Watch your mouth. You might lose it. He's cool. This is cool. I very much like this. It is. It very much is cool. That Zed throne, that's almost better than I expected, you want the truth of it. Because I was a little worried that the size difference would be a problem. Because I know that their figures are the littlest bit bigger. And I was worried that what I would do is I would end up getting it. And then I would be like, oh, I've got all these ideas. And then I'd go to sit the guy in it. And he'd be like, just this big giant, like, I don't fit at all. I was very worried about that for a second. Okay, so let's get another here. Okay, so I have and then that one is gone now. Oh, we could do that. I forgot that that was sitting over here. And we have that's a possibility. There, that gets us started. Let me go check everything here. We are currently sitting at 5 viewers by this screen anyway. Gives me an idea of what we're looking for vote-wise. Yeah, very cool. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Cool Zed, man. Absolutely cool Zed throne. That's very pleased. More pleased than I actually thought I would be. And that's really cool. I like to be more pleased than I expected. Quite often. Oh, let me check this. I don't know what that is. Looks like comments on another video. And people trying to send me stuff. Check that stuff later. So far we got 1 vote, 1 minute, BTS. There is only 1 item in BTS. Loyal subjects or whatever. Dang. I didn't realize that chair was messing my elbow like that. The baby turtles look like turtles cartoon style, but are miniature turtles. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I'll be honest. I haven't been keeping up with NECA too much, in all honesty. Like, not as much as I used to, anyway. I used to keep up with NECA quite a bit more, but there were a couple of figures that I bought from them that just did not do it for me. And I kind of dropped out of NECA almost completely, if you want the truth of it. And I haven't really gone back. So I'm not 100% sure. I like, unless... Now, I follow a couple people that do talk about it, so from time to time I very blatantly do see what's coming out. But, like, unless they're talking about it, I don't really go out of my way all that often anymore to check NECA. And I think so that then I miss out on a lot of things. I still see, like I said, from time to time I definitely see what's coming, and then I have a chance to actually talk about it. But and we also haven't been doing the, before these became openings, these lives used to be window shopping, where we would purposely go to the different shopping sites and whatnot, and we'd look for the upcoming pre-orders and things like that, and we'd check out what's coming and what's currently there, and like what deals exist and stuff like that. That used to be a pretty cool stream, but I felt like it lacked some of the personal interaction and questions and things like that. So I do actually, that's the reason we kind of moved to doing these. Currently we got 3 minutes. We got one. I actually think we just lost a couple people hopping in and out. It's Sunday. It's kind of something I expected. We'll go ahead and call it, and we'll run BTS. And BTS only has one figure. So once we cover him, we have no more BTS. That's done. We've opened everything. All my BTS, I don't know if there's anything else that exists. The loyal subject stuff, the BTS stuff. No, sorry, I keep saying BTS. BST. I don't know why I always do that. I flip those. Dyslexic. I mean, I have a mild form of dyslexia that is caused, it aggravates when I'm tired or stressed. So you'll catch it from time to time, especially right now. I'm working 60 hours a week and whatnot. So sometimes my stuff gets a little backwards, but for some reason I kept calling it that. I know this is BST, and I know that it's from the company Loyal Subjects. And yes, this is Dark Leonardo. This is, I think, the special edition one. And I found it at the Overstock toy store for $20. I don't know what this guy originally ran. I don't know if that's a good deal or if it's a bad deal. I think this might be a good deal. Because if I am not mistaken, this guy was somewhat exclusive. I think this guy is the black and white color scheme, so he's one of the special paints. And I also think that he comes with something inside that was fairly rare for him in general, like the limited edition collector's card thing it talks about, which I'm not going to care too much about that. But yes. But there he is. What do I know about this? Well, here's the thing. I like the IDW Ninja Turtles quite a bit. I have not read the new ones yet, but I was really enjoying the IDW Ninja Turtles. However, I read up to the point of a little bit, probably 15 episodes after the war. So I was at the point where the other turtle had come back in time. I stopped right at that storyline. Not because I necessarily wanted to, but I got into an overage and I could no longer get to the comic store and I had to cancel my books. And then it was looking like the company could go on strike, and that started making me worry about my money situation and whatnot. So I said, hey man, I got to cancel all my books. And so I did. And that was kind of part of what led me to going down a road where now I really haven't gotten back into comics. There was something about keeping up with it that was keeping it interesting. And then when I lost all that and it was gone, now I'm more interested in just reading the stories and not interested in owning a bunch of single issues. I don't want to go back to that grind. So I have 14 volumes of this, and I'm in the course of reading it again, and I will get back to this. If I'm not mistaken, this Dark Leo is, in this storyline anyway, it's when he is brainwashed into joining the Foot Clan. I'm almost positive that's where it was going. I think that's what this was. I cannot say so for sure. I could be wrong about that. But when I seen him, and I recognized this dark turtle design, I recognize this Dark Turtle design from cartoons, like in terms of the Archie comics, the Adventure comics, if I'm not mistaken. I remember this kind of design also in the 2013 Ninja Turtles when they fought the Shredder at basically the end of that series before it became like Tales of TMNT. They also went into the Dark Turtle costumes. I know there is a What If universe thing or whatever of Dark Turtles, if I remember right. So, like, I know some of this for what it's worth. This says, straight from the pages of the TMNT IDW comics with custom artwork from Mateus. Oh my, that's a name. Santolucuo? I guarantee you I can't say that name. Not without hearing it first. Probably presents. That didn't tell me anything. That just tells me who is the artist that they're using to base this off of. And I have trouble with his name like crazy. I've seen this name a couple of times, actually. And I could say his first name. I believe it's Mateus. I can't say that last name. I've never heard it, though. I've never heard it pronounced. So maybe I should go... If I can find an interview with him, I betcha. It doesn't say anything. I wonder if I open it up, will there be some information? I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure this is when he is brainwashed into joining the Foot. Either way, it is very cool, and it will fit that really cool color scheme of the Sin City Turtles that I opened up there that are all in black and white. And that's one of the reasons I wanted this one in particular, was because I thought that he would go very well with them. Let's open him. Okay. I wonder if I had the mic off for any of that. I wonder if I just clacked around everywhere there for a second. If so, I don't think that one was as bad as some of the others. But regardless, this says... Oh, yeah, I was right. It says Dark Leonardo served as the Shredder's enforcer during the citywide takeover of organized crime. Under direction from Kitsune, Shredder commanded Leonardo not to take the lives of any of his opponents, perhaps knowing that this would be enough to shake him from the witch's control. I thought I remembered something about this. And I wonder if this is after the Shredder comes back and starts kind of working with the Turtles. And if so, then that explains why I only kind of know about this, but haven't had a chance to read it yet, because that's after the point. I was coming up on that point, actually, where the Shredder was about to get involved and things like that. This guy is right here. We have our standard BST problems, our standard loyal subject problems. One, the arms. This happens with these figures, and I don't know why. It doesn't seem to cause any problems, but we get these gaps with these figures. They seem like they do real good, and then they don't. As you can see, that just happened. There, it's fixed. So that's not like a thing. It's not broken, but it is a bit of a problem. Otherwise, we have decent enough movement. That needs to be loosened out a bit. Like I said, that's giving me troubles right there because of the way that it is. We have the same kind of thing here that we have with the other loyal subject toys, where we have decent movement and everything, but we have these like open gaps when you move. You kind of open this up. It doesn't hurt as bad on this guy because he has the knees and everything, but on other characters, that can really be a problem because it's just like a gash here when you like move the legs and stuff like that. He has this really cool Wolverine-esque spike here. He's got the pauldron on with the Foot Clan emblem, which is pretty cool. He's got these small daggers. These do not come off. They're just like a cool decoration, but they are neat. And then we have these right here, so he can hold the swords, which actually mine is going to need re-glued. See, one of my straps is actually out, so I'm going to need to re-glue that strap before I get to use him or anything like that. He's carrying smoke bombs. There's a lot of detail on this guy and everything. He comes with the extra bandanas, like for the back, so you plug him into the back here. He's got one for each of his heads, and then, of course, they move and everything. He's got the stern look that he starts with, and then he gets this yelling, angry face, which is pretty cool. He does come with both his standard katanas, and they do come with the sheaths, and the way that these are supposed to work is that they'll slip into these right here, and then he'll have one there and one there. But I can't do that right now because I'm going to have to fix mine. Minor problem. I don't foresee any problem with fixing that. I don't see that I'll have any problems at all. He has the smaller claws right here with different kinds of grips for each one of these hands. And then he has, without the claws, right here, a punching fist, which is just the little metal part, and a grabbing hand type of thing, or opposing hand, an accentuation hand type of thing. And then here, the other one is a gripping hand also. This is specifically, I imagine, for the katana. And then this one, this is his other weapon, so he has a closed fist here. The range of motion and everything on this is really good. The only thing that really sucks about him is that I'm going to have to fix his arm, and that can be a bit of a pain. And I'm also going to have to figure out his, just his arm, really. That was the only problem, like, because his butterfly and everything seems to be working. So I didn't get too bad of a deal here. The loyal subject toys, they have had me on a hit and miss since they came out. Sometimes they work, and they work very well, and when they work, I like them a lot. Other times, there's just way too much and way too much ambition that goes wrong. You could argue this is one of those times. Like, these are easy to break. Mine came out of the box broken. It will be an easy glue back in place. I'm not saying this is any kind of a deal breaker, but the fact that I have to do that is a problem. We saw when I opened the shredder, his legs fell off. You saw when I opened this, he has this one joint right here, which is pretty loose and pretty easy to pop out. I don't think that should be a thing. That should be tighter than it is. Like, that should drop down a little more. It should have a little more in terms of this part. Like, that should be carved up. That should be a little bit thicker, if you want the truth of it, in my opinion. And, yeah, see, that's like, that feels almost locked. So I'm going to have to heat them up and move them around. And then I'm going to have to pop that back into place and kind of work with it. And maybe I might even have to add a little bit to that joint in there to get that pop to be a little thicker. So I might pop this out, and what I might do is I might take a type of glue or something of that nature and kind of put it in there, or maybe some tack, maybe the littlest bit of tack to just thicken up that part in there so that when I push this on, there's something holding inside of there that gives it a little more pressure, holds it in place. So I'm not saying I can't fix this, and I'm not saying it's not cool. I'm saying that loyal subjects, this is not an uncommon thing in my experience so far. In the time that I've been buying loyal subjects, which is not much, so just so you know, right off the bat, you know that I'm not talking from like grandeur of experience. I have bought a shredder from them. I had problems. I bought Jenica from them. I'm not a fan of the way they did her knees, but the rest of it works for me. And I bought the 4-pack turtles from them, specifically the ones that are in black and white. And those were nearly perfect. I cannot think of an issue at any point in time where they have given me problems. I pose them. They're very cool. They're on the shelf back there. And, Raphael. Raphael has that thing where he can hold the sai in between his fingers. That is really tough to do. To the point where, like, I felt like I was going to break him. I had to go in and superheat him with the hairdryer to loosen those fingers up because he would not cooperate. Those hands are bad. Otherwise, fine. And now we have him, and he has this arm problem, and one of his bands is broken. So my experience with loyal subjects tells me that while I think they're cool, I don't think I'm going to go any further into the line because they're the flip of a coin. They're going to have to either release something really crazy. Oh, I also got a wave of foot soldiers from them, and they were all fine. But yeah, because of that, I think I'm going to be very cautious about diving even further into the line. But luckily, when it comes to loyal subjects, my turtle rule is done. My turtle rule specifically says that if I buy into a Ninja Turtles line, I buy the 4 turtles first. Then I go from there and I buy extras. In terms of loyal subjects, I made a promise to myself. There are 5 turtles before you stop and then expand into other things that you're interested in. I usually get the 4 turtles and Shredder or Splinter. Splinter is a toss-up, and sometimes an April. That's kind of my base, and until I have that, I don't go further into the line to save myself from like getting stupid and spending a whole bunch of money. With loyal subjects, I've had enough issues with them, none of them absolute destruction, none to the point where like I would be like, never trust them, but enough of the issues that have made me say, I've got what I want. I don't know how many more times I'm willing to take a risk. So that's kind of where I'm sitting with that. So now we'll go back to the chat, and just to say this, that was the end of loyal subjects. We've run out. So there's no more, there will no longer be a vote for loyal subjects. And I don't think, like I said, am I going to pick any more of them up. Hey, what's going on, man? Still buying toys. Yes. Like almost always, yes. Sorry if I was a no-show for the rest of the last live stream. Had to take care of something. No, man. Like, real life happens, man. But, yeah, absolutely. Let me check this real quick. Dang it. Okay, so that takes that off the table. No, we'll also add this. Okay. There. Okay, that should get us up and moving. Let's reopen this window. We're going to hear them crickets a chirp, but dang, I'm telling you, this room is a heat box. No joke. The next time we do this, we're going to have no choice but to put a fan in the room, because we're starting to reach that point down here anyway where we're reaching the days that are like in the 80s, and this room is going to get warm, especially right now. I could make this room cooler, to be fair, but I am avoiding turning on the air for as long as I can. I'm very blatantly avoiding that as much as I can, because I don't want to pay the energy bill. I don't want to do it. But I wouldn't be surprised if I start doing it this like this week. In all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if I start turning the air on. Not just because it's going to get warm, but if it gets warm and I am working, especially now that I'm up to 60-hour weeks, if I'm doing that, I don't want to go there and be miserable, hot, and worked, and then come here and sit around and be hot. Sometimes I will very blatantly to pay the extra money on my bills to be comfortable. And heck, right now I'm making the extra money anyway, so it's not even a thing. It's not even a question. Okay, honestly, that's that question. It's all good though. Ain't judging. Really, you had responded to me with the Blu-ray comment that way last time. I mean, I guess. Arizona doesn't have to hold a beer. Unless you work where I work. Look, man, however hot it is outside, add 10 degrees and 0 airflow, that's where I work for the entire day. Whether it's hot or cold outside. If it's muggy, I basically work in a gigantic metal shack. A superheated, gigantic metal shack, and my area has no fans and no heat flow, like no airflow at all. None. For 3 years. None. So, as hot as it is, that's how hot it is. And the whole day, my job is lifting tubes in awkward positions and shipping product. I'm not one of those guys that's on the truck. I have a truck, but it's only for moving my stuff down to the dock. My job is all physical standing. I stand the whole day. I lift. I pick things up out of box. I took things out of trays. I move things. All of it anywhere from 30 to 50 pounds on a constant 400 or 500 times a night. That's what I do. Yes, I am. That's one of the things I was actually happy when I got rid of my hair. Believe it or not, when I got rid of my hair, that was one of the best parts of being rid of my hair, was because where I work, I would walk in and within the first 10 minutes, I would just be dragging my hands across this just this nasty mat. I hated it. I hated the way that it felt. My hair would be drenched like I stepped out of the shower within the first 10-20 minutes of work every single day. Sometimes in the winter. I know guys that come to my warehouse and they wear shorts all year round. Because their area, they can get away with shorts. You can't do that everywhere. But because they can, and because it's hot, I see it all the time. They will come in and be it'll be -6 or something literally -6 outside. Wind chill feels -20 something. And they're walking in shorts. And they don't even care because they know they're a little cold right now. But once they get in that building, they will not be cold. They know that. It comes with the territory. They know that. So, I think and I'm very surprised about this, I think that Masterverse has won. I haven't got to open a Masterverse figure in a minute. Minutes, I tell you. It did. Oh boy. Like, honestly, like, this is, I love me some Masterverse. Masterverse is that's where I make my home, man. Okay, I have a couple of these. First off, that's one that I definitely want to see. That's one that I want to see. Oh, what else do we got running over here? Oh, you know what? Yeah, absolutely. Cool. And you know what? Sure. There we go. That's what we're doing right there. I don't know if it's shocking. I know that Netflix is kind of weird about what they release and what they don't release, but I know that Kevin Smith in general is a huge advocate for in-home media and things like Blu-rays, DVDs, things of that nature. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if part of getting him in on the series and the deal at large meant that he had a little bit of saying power for this, and maybe he demanded home releases, which helped him push it forward. And by the way, I already bought it, and I know this is going to sound wild, but the Blu-ray, it looks better on the Blu-ray than it did on streaming. Not by much, but the color grade is a little bit sharper, which I think that has to do with streaming in general, because it depends on when you stream something, like your connection and everything to that means and whatnot. But yes, it does honestly look a little bit better. I can't say that it necessarily sounds better, but I don't have the sound system to judge that. I just have the TV. I keep telling myself I need a sound bar and a sound system because I do often wonder like how cool stuff could be, but I don't ever really get that. I don't ever get the ability to like really see for myself because I don't have that option. But in terms of visual ability, my TV and my player and my cord are all pretty top notch. So like oftentimes if I can get something physical, and like he's saying right here, the bit rate is that's a part of it for sure. Yeah, it looks better on that Blu-ray than it did on the stream. It's so good. Right now we are currently looking at a tie with Terror Claws and Ninjor. We have currently 6 people hanging out, and we have 5 votes. So somebody's just kind of watching the stream. That's a problem. It just tells me what's going on. Somebody's watching the stream, and so they're not putting in a vote. So we may end up having to call this and do a tiebreaker, which is not a problem. In fact, we may just go ahead and decide that. Because right now we got Terror Claws and Ninjor they're at a tie. Or I could call Old Rules. Because my Old Rules used to be if things tied, I would open them both. But I kind of stopped doing that for a reason. Yeah, let's do the tiebreaker. Oh, wait, whoa. Up. It's up. There was flipping. Okay, Ninjor is currently winning, which is cool. And finally, He-Man got the name back, by the way. So, awesome. Means we can open Ninjor, the actual Ninjor, which is really cool. And he looks like he got a fantastic redesign for Masterverse. Like, he looks like he's great. Up to 7 votes. We got 1 minute left. We only do these for 5 minutes, or rather we try to. Unless a conversation topic comes up, normally we only run these for 5 minutes, and then we usually call them. Yeah, dude, Ninjor looks fantastic. And there's something that I'll have to talk about right off the bat with Ninjor in general. Dip. Did we do it? Did we got it? Another plane. Okay. We have 7 votes. Ninjor won. That's 5 minutes. We're opening Ninjor. Okay. Let's do it. Ninjor. This is going to be cool. So, first off, the box, as usual, is very good. The new layout often has the figure on the back, so you can see kind of what you're going to be dealing with, which is fine for what it's worth, but I honestly miss that they used to have the big artwork on the back. That's a part of this line that I really love, and I feel like it's missing something because of that. But otherwise, it's really not a big deal. The cross-sell down here, I have all of it. I have him. We're waiting to still review him. I have him. We're about to review him right now. And I bought her. She might be on her way someday. I don't know. Side art right here. Solid, fine. But what we really need to talk about is this right here. This is Ninjor. And that is a classic sorceress. That is the classic look for the sorceress. And this is on a Masterverse artwork box, which makes me ask the question, are we going to see a classic sorceress? And we could, because we have a classic Tila that has already been promised and on the way. And we've already seen a couple of other retro-esque figures. We have a more classic Evelyn that we've already talked about. So, like, it's not like this isn't happening. If that happens, it's one of the things I'm very much looking forward to. We also have a glimpse at a classic Scareglow. I mean, that's cool. But if I'm being perfectly honest, I really like the new Scareglow. So the classic, more retro design will really have to blow my mind to make me care. Otherwise, I'm not too worried about it. But let's open him, because the new Ninjor looks honestly sick. They look like they overhauled this guy. They look like they did a wicked, wicked job. And for what it's worth, before we do that, the Demon King from the Dimension of Noir silently searched the scattered remains of New Eternia for the power of Grayskull so he may become an immortal force of evil. That's what I got. That's what we got in terms of story. I can't tell you much about this guy. I can only tell you how he makes me feel once I open the box. Let's open the box. Okay. I've got him opened. Let's check him out. First off, this is him right here. Simple enough, but man, this design is good. Like, and I gotta say something, which I know is gonna sound weird, but it almost feels like the plastic is different. Like compared to the earlier Masterverse figures, it almost feels like the plastic is different. Not in a bad way, but I'm noticing when I'm moving his legs and everything, he feels different somehow. And I'm not really able to track down exactly why. But I notice it. Not in a bad way. It's just there's something that feels different about this as opposed to how it feels. Somebody's mowing. As opposed to how it feels on some of the earlier figures. That being said, we got a lot of cool design on this guy. First off, we got a lot of really cool design up in here, and the armor that comes down, and this snake-like creature, like this dragon with the sword that goes through it. The hood, which is very much like the Skeletor type of hood, which is kind of cool. And then his face here. We've got these really cool gauntlets. I like these. The side guards right here. This must be for his nunchucks. I think that's what this is. So we got this face. Is that like an Oni type of thing or something like that? Probably. Could be. And then he's got the type of demon feet, which I think are actually his feet. I don't think this is like him trying to appear as though he looks a certain way. I think those are actually supposed to be his feet, which is kind of cool. We got the good tie and everything like that. Everything about this seems really solid. We got a space right here that I'm guessing is for the sword. And so that leads us to what he came with, okay? So, he does come with a sword, which is standard, but very cool looking. Like, this will get the job done. It is a really cool sword, and it definitely fits the motif that we're going for here. As far as I can tell, that's going to go right there like this, and it's going to slide back and go across his back. Now, I'm going to push that in there, and we're going to see if it has the exact same problem as Fisto. When you put Fisto's sword on his back, it pulls the paint off the blade. Is this the same way? I don't know. Let's see. Let's put it in there. Not the same problem. This time, the blade is just gray, and that's gray plastic. Look, that's good, because I actually was not too happy about the last time that we did this, and because they decided to paint the blade silver, which was a cool effect, but then because of the way the character is designed, it didn't do him any favors when he actually sheathed the blade. It ruined it. So now we don't have to worry about that. The next thing that he did come with are these nunchucks. They're linked, so they're the actual kind that you can actually train with. If you wanted, you can get your little... I can't. Hold on. I got it. I'm the best. So yeah, they're actually chained. That is actually cool, except for the problem. When you have something like this, I like what Ninja Turtles in some lines have started doing, where they release one that's like this, and then they release another one that's like an effect with like a spin or something like that with the nunchucks. I do like that these, like, it's almost like they're made from like a ruby or something. It's like a see-through plastic, and I imagine that's got to be like some sort of like red see-through type of stone, like a really hard material, and that's actually a really cool effect in general. But it goes right there, hangs out the back. It's cool. That's fantastic. He also has this bow, which is a really sick bow right here. It's this cool like magic energy bow thing. I already see a minor problem with it. And I think it's just mine. I'm trying to scratch the part off or whatever. But I have a mild imperfection. Like I guess you can't see it, so it's not that big. I can see it. There's like these dots, like these little scratches in the plastic. But right here, that's a really cool bow. I like it's got the dragon head right here, and that's where the actual arrow is coming out from. I like that this is all an energy type of thing. So, like, when you think about Eternia, you're thinking about a place that's magic and technology. This could possibly be a blend of both. And it also kind of helps that in their universe, we don't have to worry about, like, he didn't have to have, like, a quiver with 5 or 6 arrows in it, and then a bow with a string that we'd probably put in his hands and use one time, and then the bow would get all warped and everything like that, or the string would no longer go taut because, like, we've done one picture with it. You're not going to have that problem with this. I'm fine with that. He does not have punching hands. Like, I even checked this bag and everything when I opened this bag, and I looked in here in the box and whatnot and was like, what is going on? He didn't come with any extra hands. So he's got gripping hands, and that's it. Because of the kind of character he is, I don't think that that's terrible. I don't think I have any red hands that would do anything for him. Like, so I can't, like, give him a punching hand or a chop hand or something like that. But, like I said, with all the stuff this guy comes with, he's definitely like a weapons master. Chances that you're wanting him to, like, punch instead of, like, be seen with the nunchucks and things like that is low. So I'm not going to fault them for that. But it is something that I noticed because it's the first one of these that I've opened that I can think of in recent memory anyway that he hasn't had fists or like a chopping hand or an expression hand of some sort. He just doesn't have it. So now the last part of this guy to look at is that he came with 2 other faces. That is not his face. Nor are these. And I don't know if we can actually see his real face. Like, if I pull this out, however you do that, this is rough. It doesn't say anything about it. He doesn't come with any paperwork. I'm going to try to get up under here and pull the face out. Do I pull this up? No. This is kind of wild, actually. I can't... I'm having trouble gripping the sides. I'm not sure how you are supposed to get this... Take your face off! Give me this. Let me see. There's nothing there. I don't see anything. Move the hood back. Pull this back so I can get to the chin. Come on. Wow. Can I pull the hood back? I cannot. Wow. Okay. I cannot take his face off. Normally, this would not be a problem. Because normally I would not want his face to come off. I dropped it. But now I kind of do want his face to come off. Unless, is that his face? Watch this. Watch me put this on and realize that that was just his face. First off, I didn't know. So shut up. Second off, you can't say that my show is scripted. I thought that you would never see his face, or maybe he would be like faceless, and that would be a really cool effect. These just pop on. There's a reason I thought that, though, because like this is like a lifeless, like angry man face. And what I mean by it's lifeless is other figures, they have the pupils and everything. They look a certain way. So I wasn't expecting that. Now when I pull that off, he looks the same way. His skin just is kind of like this greenish color, and then his eyes are dead, and all of this, and it looks like strangely smooth and not lifelike, and that stands out against all the other figures and made me feel like he had 3 different faces and that you never really knew what his real face was. And I thought that maybe that was a really cool concept hidden inside the figure. It is not. I just spent a portion of the video trying to take his face off. And I'm not Nicolas Cage, so I was not successful. That face doesn't come off. He does put these other faces on, though. So he has this real cool, like, ogre face, that's like really cool, like an Oni face or an ogre face or whatever. And then he has this, like, crazy, like, madman face. And all of these are cool. All 3 of these, regardless of what you go with, is going to be really cool. I don't know. I almost feel like this might be, for display purposes, I might like this currently right now. If I'm going to put him on the shelf, I might want that. I might want the sword on his back. We'll go this way. And then I think I want this in his hand. We'll go this way. Oh, his hands. Oh! They changed the material of the hands. That's different. I know it's been a while since we've opened one of these because they haven't been getting voted for a while. The hands are like a rubber-esque material. Almost like, it's strong, but look at that. I was not expecting that. I was expecting them to be hard plastic like every other hand, and that I would come over here and then I would have to kind of like squeeze that into place and like pull the hand or whatever. No, these hands, they're like, I was not expecting that. The hands are different, man. Like, that's cool. That's really cool, actually. I'm not 100% sure that I love how this bow is being held, though. And I don't think that this would help necessarily, is to have that on the outside. And I don't necessarily think that it's supposed to be upside down because I like the way that the dragon head is up. And he doesn't have 2 different hands. So the bow kind of holds weird. This seems to be in the way. Or maybe somehow that goes, maybe does that somehow click into his back as well? Is there a spot where he can hold the bow? Is that possible? This part right here seems to be in the way. And it makes it really difficult if you're going to get a shot of him with the bow like this, or something like that. The bow has not been thought through. It doesn't work as well as all the other figures have worked. So this is a bit of a problem. But otherwise, we have a ninja. We have a ninja. And a shadow warrior, an assassin in Motu, and he feels right. My dog is going crazy, so that's the end of this. I have to go let the dog out. Yeah. I'll be back. All right. Let's see. What was people talking about? Sordon let Ninjor out of the basement. if he had any control over this Ninjor would have shattered his tube. Ninjor gives Zordon the finger and touches. No, yeah, dude. I'm so glad that they got the rights to this back. Like, because the only reason that Power Rangers was allowed to use that name is because Motu had lost the rights to it, and then Motu was then not allowed to use it because Power Rangers was using it. I'm glad to see it back where it belongs. What's poppin'? Figures. Let's see. How's it going, Bill? Ninjor looks crazy dope. He does, man. Like, I'm pretty impressed in all actuality. Sounds like Ninjor and Skeletor may butt heads over the power of Grayskull stab. Well, I mean, everybody does. Like, this, everybody does. That's right. You don't mess around with these nunchuck skills. It's trying to get those tiny chucks a fellow chucker, eh? Let's see. Energy Bow. Hey, Oliver Queen. Yeah, I like how you're like, hey man, do the hot water hairdryer trick. And then, wow. Oh man. I did not expect that. I thought for sure that all three faces were like, they came off and that there would just be like a shadow mass or something back there. I had no idea that was supposed to be his face and that he came with two masks. That caught me by surprise. Oh man. That is the thing about doing this show the way that I do it though too, is I don't review figures. I open them on the show and then talk about how cool they are or how much they've disappointed me. I mean, that's the way that I handle these figures. And sometimes because of that, you will see those kinds of situations happen. This guy is really cool though. Aside from his bow, which maybe there's a better way to do his bow that I'm not realizing. Oh, okay. So here's the thing. They even know that the bow is kind of trash. See, on the back thing here, they don't show him with the bow. And then they show these in cool action poses. But if you'll notice, when he uses the bow, it's just like an awkward... Like he puts it in one hand. Like this. And then you're supposed to... Come on, hands. Then you're supposed to, like, have him kind of reach out with the other hand and, like, hold the string or whatever. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And it's awkward, and even they know it. Even they know it. Because on the back of the box, it's the most awkward picture. And, like, the way that he would pose with this book, like, that's the weakest weapon he has. Because of the way they move, it's not practical. You need some, like, hard, real butterflies to get that to work. And they don't have it in the Masterverse line. And then on top of that, the other problem is that the bow is just designed weird. So the bow is a cool concept. It doesn't do him figure-wise any favors. But there we go. I'm thinking that there's a chance that I can come back in Tuesday and do more of these. I'm hoping. But today, I promised myself that I would start a movie run. So that's what I'm going to do. It's about 7:20, somewhere in there. So I am going to get off of here. I'm going to make sure that the last couple videos get posted so that we have stuff going up. And I am going to go start the Sam Raimi movies. Because buying that Spider-Man made me want to watch him again. I just finished the other stuff that I was watching, and I have an open segment now So I'm going to watch all 3 of those movies in succession. I'll start tonight with part 1, and then I'll watch part 2, and then I'll watch 2.5, and then I'll watch 3. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. So, thanks for hanging out. It was cool. Open a couple figures. Today we got a good run, actually, because we did Ninjor. We did the Dark Leo, which was a pretty cool figure aside from his flaws. We did the Motu pack. We did CoverGirl, and we got Zed's Throne. So, like, we had a pretty good run tonight in terms of figures opened. We didn't go over any topics today. There were no real questions this time that, like, covered topics or anything like that. Remember, anytime we're doing this, if you have a question, a topic statement, or something like that, sometimes I'll literally answer them right here in between unboxings, and those will become chapters on the channel, or sometimes I'll take that and we'll use it later on in something. But for right now, guys, I gotta watch some Spider-Man. Like, I got to. I love them Sam Raimi movies, dude. I love all 3 of them, and I've kind of been aching to see them. And then I bought Emo Parker. And right after buying Emo Parker, man, it started coming back to me. I was like, man, it has been a while. It's probably been like 2 years since I've seen those movies. I want to see all of those movies. So I'm going to go start them. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for hanging out. Like always, guys, I appreciate it. And I will catch you guys maybe Tuesday. I don't know. It sounds like I may have open time during Tuesday, but I also might not. So, of course, no promises, but we are still on track as of now to continue having a video every single day. So at least we're still running. Thanks, guys. Again, I'm going to get out of here. Catch you later.